For this video, I want to talk about SnapMap campaigns you should play. With that said, I'm not going to include any of the SnapMap campaigns that were featured because I personally think they have the best promotion they can possibly have, and they should all be played. They're all fun in their own ways, whether it's the developer-made campaign to the Ethereal Shard, to Outcast, to Spindleshanks campaign. Like, they're all good in their own ways, and they all deserve to be featured. For this video, it's all about the best campaigns I've played that never been featured, and I'm pretty much going to talk about why I believe you should play them. I really enjoy playing SnapMap campaigns because I'm one of those people who want more campaign content, but it just seems like the hopes of getting an expansion pack is pretty much gone for Doom, so we're going to have to play SnapMap campaigns until the next one is announced. I am not ranking any of these campaigns, I'm just sharing you my experiences with them, and if they sound interesting to you, please play them. That's really all I gotta say for this intro, so let's get to it. Since I make campaigns of my own, it's only right for me to mention my campaigns. I'm going to mention 3 out of the 4 campaigns I've made because these 3 are much better than my first campaign I've made. Let's start off with Decipher. Decipher is my most proudest work I've done for SnapMap since I just wanted to make a campaign that can push my custom geo mapping abilities at that time, and what makes it great is it has a very strong classic Doom level design, but it also has a lot of the attributes of the main campaign like upgrades, and some of the levels were inspired by the main campaign's levels too. It's very challenging and much more action-packed than the main campaign, since I personally thought the main campaign lacked that. So you are going to have your skills tested in this campaign, and I do have a skill level option in all my campaigns, and this one isn't as forgiving as others. I would probably say on standard difficulty it's still going to be a pretty challenging experience compared to other SnapMap campaigns you can play. It does include co-op, so if you want to play with friends, you may do so. Redemptor is me trying to replicate the classic Doom styled campaign, where I was heavily inspired by the classic Doom games and its megawads. It's much more challenging and intense than Decipher, and to be honest, it is pretty similar to Decipher. It's basically Decipher done in an old school Doom setting, so it has the crazy fights and the level design is similar to what you expect from the old games, but I did sacrifice a lot of the more non-linear aspect to focus more on the difficulty of the combat, because I felt like having a level that's too non-linear could affect the difficulty. There is a pistol start option, so that's kind of like one of the interesting things I did to kind of separate myself compared to other classic Doom themed SnapMap campaigns at that time. And it's predominantly a hell themed campaign, so there's going to be a lot of that hellish environment. There is some more themes to it, like sometimes I'll try to do something more grotesque rather than make it all hellish, because there's just not enough hell themed textures in SnapMap. But all in all, if you're really looking for a fun, challenging, and hard classic Doom themed campaign, this one is definitely the one I could recommend. It also has co-op support too, so if you want to play this with friends, go ahead. My last campaign I want to talk about is Secluded. This campaign is by far my most ambitious work so far. It's not really following the same formula of Decipher and Redemptor, where I'm trying to make these maps as tough and challenging as possible, although it does have those moments, but it does have a lot of focus on the story. It follows 2 different character perspectives, and they do have their slight tweaks to make the gameplay of them a little bit more interesting when you compare them, and they both tell their story parts, and I just thought it would be cool to have the story being told in 2 perspectives, because you know, it leaves the player just trying to figure out how the story is going to progress, since it builds up a lot of foreshadowing. I'm still inspired by both the old school and modern Doom level design, so you'll still see a lot of that, and it's not a full-on custom geo campaign like my last 2 campaigns. It's a hybrid of preset and custom geo, but I do feel like it's worth a shot to play this campaign if you enjoy high action with an intriguing story. I've only finished 9 out of 12 maps, so you're not going to finish the campaign entirely, but I'm trying to work on them, so be patient. Just like my other 2 campaigns, this one has co-op support. So now that's out of the way, I want to talk about some of my favorite SnapMap campaigns I've played from other people. The first one is Cyber Hell. This one was made back in the pre-patch days, and it's been updated with the new features, and it was my favorite campaign at that time, but it still holds up really well. It's predominantly a preset campaign, and it's just a lot of fun to play despite of its simplicity, and it has a lot of maps too. So if you want a campaign that has a lot of maps, this one will deliver. I have no idea if there will be more, but the last level makes you feel like there will be more. It does have co-op support too, so you can play this campaign with friends if you really just want to, enjoy a Doom 2016 styled type of campaign, which is fun for both solo and co-op experiences. Return of the Doomguy is a very fun campaign by one of my favorite authors. What makes this campaign satisfying is that it's inspired by the main campaign, but it also has its own vibe to it. Like, it uses both modern and classic textures. It's mostly a custom geo campaign with very good decoration and modification of the preset modules. The author decorated it so well where you will notice a difference in the decoration. I recommend this campaign for those who want something similar to the main campaign's overall vibe, and it is only playable in solo. This campaign is easily one of my favorites I play from the community, and it is Biowar. This campaign feels almost like it was designed for me. It has this really nice flow and pace with challenging gameplay. All these maps are one life only, so this is a good campaign to test your skills as a Doom player, and I feel like that one life gameplay design does help Biowar shine, since it's rewarding when you can beat these maps without dying, and it's very balanced. There wasn't a moment where I felt a map was frustrating or had some bad design. When you die, it's your fault, and you need to play better to overcome the map. It's mostly a preset based campaign with some custom geo elements here and there. The custom geo really starts to show up when you get near to the end of the campaign, since this campaign is only missing one more level for its full completion. I highly recommend this reimagining of a classic Doom 2 WOD, and if you want a campaign that has quantity and quality, Biowar will deliver all of that. It is only playable for a solo experience. But before you play Biowar, I do want to mention that there are some maps where you can break them. For example, on the 5th map, there was a moment where I missed a red key, and if you miss that red key and you go through the teleporter, you cannot go back and get that red key, and you pretty much break the map. And then there was another moment where on the 9th level where I couldn't kill this boss properly because he kept spawning infinite amount of lost souls, mainly because I was using fully automatic weapons. So I highly recommend you to look for a chainsaw or try to use single shot weapons on that boss when you play on map 9. And for whatever reason, map 16, I can't really beat it, mainly because there's a glitch where if you hide too many objects, it will actually crash on the console version, but on the PC version it doesn't crash for whatever reason. So that's a quick disclaimer just in case you have any interest in playing Biowar, and just want to give you a heads up. The next one is also another favorite of mine, and that is Tech Base. If there's any classic Doom SnapMap campaign you have to play, I would recommend this one. It nails down the episode 1 vibe perfectly. If you love the first episode of the original Doom, this campaign feels like a campaign full of maps that could have easily made it into episode 1 if id Software wanted more levels. They're very fun to play, and it also has some beautiful visual design too, so if you want good gameplay and artistic design, this is the campaign you have to try out. It is only playable for a solo experience. The next campaign is another classic styled campaign, and that is Hellwalker. Hellwalker is mostly designed to challenge players since the level design is very linear to a lot of the classic Doom levels are known for, but I still think it's worth checking it out if you want some really fun fights to go through, and it does got more of a hellish theme going on, so if you prefer that theme over a tech-based theme, then this campaign is something you gotta try. It also takes advantage of the filter effects. It changes the colors of the original colors from the textures, and it uses a decent amount of modern props and effects if you want some more information about this campaign. It's only playable for a solo experience. This campaign was kind of tough for me to recommend, but I'll do it since it does got some interesting things going on. Path to Oblivion is a challenging campaign where it combines a lot of elements of various first-person shooters. Like, it does have the Doom influences, but it also have Half-Life influences too. Not only that, there are survival horror elements too. I did feel like the campaign does kind of feel repetitive at times, and sometimes it kind of lacks that sense of quality compared to the campaigns I've talked about, but it does have some cool moments, and I do think it does do a decent job at being a versatile experience. I do want to mention there is some story elements to it too. I personally didn't find it too memorable, but it kind of had its moments. All these maps are life based, and these levels can get quite tough, and you will have to retry some of these maps. So I recommend this campaign for a good challenge, and it also has a lot of maps too. It currently has 12 maps. It does come with co-op support, so if you're an average skilled Doom player, play this in co-op.